My job is all about purpose.
Just the ability to make a difference, to help someone be able to go home at the end of the day.
My great-grandfather started the volunteer fire department in Springfield, Nebraska. My grandmother was a nurse. My uncle was a fire chief in Atlanta, Georgia. So somewhere down the line, it was my purpose to be doing this.
Yeah, we're a family here.
The data we get from Rapid SOS is life-saving.
Have you ever met a 911 professional and asked, what's the worst call you've ever taken? Well, here's your answer. I heard your last breath the night you flipped your four-wheeler. I tried to call you the day you committed suicide by driving your car into a tree. Blue face, cold to the touch. I helped you with CPR after you found your infant face down, not breathing. It messed me up. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. You were with me from the beginning, Grandma. 27 years later, I took the 911 call when you died. How fitting to be there for me in the beginning, and I was there for you in the end. I miss you, Grandma. I am 911. This is but a glimpse into the world of emergency dispatch. But what is it really like to answer a call during someone's nightmare? What is the impact of the first responder answering the call? Available on Amazon or where you purchase your favorite books and ebooks. Imagine listening. Your worst day is our everyday.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
It was my first pediatric code, and what I later found out to be the coworker of a family member of mine at the time. And it was a SIDS case. And I had to ask the father to ask his wife to leave the room because she was obviously beside herself after finding their 3-month-old pulseless non-breathing. And I could not hear him because she was so loud, which is completely understandable. And he asked me to stay on the phone with him. He did not want me to hang up with him. And I stayed on the phone and I cried. I cried on the phone with him until I don't remember if the police got there before the ambulance or if the ambulance got there first, but I stayed on the phone and cried with him. And just the fact that I was able to help him for those few minutes, even though it didn't change the outcome, I felt bad about the call, but I felt good about being able to help him in some capacity.
Welcome to Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them. This episode is sponsored by Rapid SOS, Safer Together, the leading company in AI for public safety. And I will say right now, right off the bat, it is July 13th. Just a couple of weeks ago was the National NENA Conference. You see their logo right there down in the bottom right. It is completely different now, so shout out to my partners and sponsors for their reveal, the refresh of their branding and everything that they're doing. A lot of cool stuff coming from them as always. And so make sure to check that out. There'll be a new intro video that'll be coming out as well. And the only reason that logo hasn't changed yet is because I have not gotten it from them yet. But I will have it tomorrow. I will have it and it'll switch up and everything. So kudos to all of you. And, thank you for what you do for public safety and the community that they serve. So with that said, a lot of things going on as usual. We've got National APCO coming up. I also have a conference in North Carolina. It is put on by the North Carolina State 911 Board for Directors, and I will be their keynote speaker out there. So that'll be an awesome time, and that will lead right up to my older daughter's 15th birthday. Holy moly, 15 already. Either way, it's going to be awesome. and tons of excellent episodes coming up. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And because I did not get a chance to go to National Nina after all, it's a long story. I will not bother you with it. But I will do an episode on it here pretty soon. So you'll find out what happened, everything that was going on soon enough. But because I wasn't out there, one of the things that I was going to do was I was going to meet with a bunch of folks to record episodes. And if they recorded episodes with me, they would earn themselves a 10-year anniversary I Am 911 challenge coin, or what I'm calling Decade of Voices. So I've got 15 episodes already lined up, and this is the first one that is going to start for that. And so I'm excited to chat with every single person and also mail out their awesome challenge coins that they are going to get. So my guest today is Jami, and she is a 911 professional and a peer support specialist out of Lee Summit Fire in Missouri. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. These, I will say, the last couple of weeks though have been crazy, and I wasn't doing that well then, only because there was a lot of stress, family emergencies, different things that were going on.
Yeah,
Also, I mean, we've got I don't know how hot it is over there, but it has been crazy hot over here,
it has been
and
here as well.
I was in Florida with my mom and my siblings, my younger siblings, for a few days, and it was even more hot over there.
Mm.
So I thought, oh, I need to stop pissing and moaning and just enjoy life. So
So what's worse in Florida, the heat or the humidity?
I would say all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
also have minor asthma. So when yeah, okay, you know what I'm talking about. So like
Yep.
when the humidity really starts to hit, I'm like, I need
Yeah.
to take
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
take
Totally
take a
got it.
little hit off of the inhaler, and I don't use it that much. Maybe honestly, like a handful of times a
Mhm.
year, I'll use it. But if I'm visiting in Florida
And
and
that
it's
heat and
summertime,
humidity. Yeah.
yeah, it really kicks in. But again, I'm glad to have you here. This is going to be
Glad to
awesome.
be here.
Looking forward to hearing your story. Now, just to start off, you have what 26 years now in public
26
safety,
in
correct?
April. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Because,
Thank you.
a lot of people, and for whatever reason, either they move on from
Mhm.
911, or, whatever it may be. Maybe they're on the private side of 911 now. It's usually like 7 or 8 years
Mhm. Yeah.
where people get to. I mean, for me, it was 13. And then I ended up going into the private side of 911, and then
Mhm.
doing everything that I do for a living now, being an advocate for dispatch and mental health and wellness
Right.
and such, and getting their stories out. But, to have 26 years, that is amazing. So congratulations once again.
Well, thank
And
you.
let's go back in time. How
Yeah.
did you start this amazing journey to begin with?
So I started this journey like a lot of people. I wanted to help people,
Hmm.
and I wanted a job where I did something different every day. I didn't want to any 2 days to look the same. And I actually did not intend on staying in dispatch. I went into it fully intending on becoming a firefighter.
Hmm.
I was upfront about that in my interview, which did not go over well with some on my interview panel. Despite that, I still got the job. And I was here for about a year or two when I was about halfway through filling out the application for firefighter when I stopped and thought, what am I doing? I don't want to leave. I love what I do. I don't want to stop. So I put it in the shredder, and I haven't regretted that decision.
Okay, so that is pretty awesome, because you're right. There are, because I remember as well. I remember when I ended up getting promoted to a supervisor at the last center that I was at. I think maybe one. Yeah, I think there was one interview that I got to sit in on, but I got to help with a lot of questions and stuff
Mhm.
for for those to ask, those who were coming in. And that was one of the things that we looked at was, is this a stepping stone? And even
Mhm.
if it is, especially because we were short staffed back then as well, like
Yep.
everyone is now,
Right.
we were still going to take you, but we
Mhm.
were hoping that we had at least a few years,
Mhm.
right, with the person, at least two
Right.
with somebody before that they moved on. But
Yeah.
you and I think that's really good as well that you right off the bat made it clear, like,
Mhm.
I want to work here,
Yeah.
but this is what my ultimate goal is. But
Yeah.
what was it? Because there's a lot of people that I've spoken to in the past that
Mhm.
they either pinpoint it to a certain call or something that whether it was one that they took or one that they listened to or someone that they worked with, an incident, I don't know, something like that,
Yeah.
that was the moment where they realized, you know what, I just like you said, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And you shredded it. Like, do you remember? Like, was there one thing that you can pinpoint, or was it just a whole bunch of things that told you, you know what, I'm
Yeah.
where I should be?
Yeah. It was one call. Um, I it was a bad one, of course. It usually is, but I like referring back to this call because despite how bad it was, I can still see the positive in it.
Mhm.
And it serves as a good reminder that even if we can't help provide a positive patient outcome, we can still help other people. It was my first pediatric code. And what I later found out to be the coworker of a family member of mine at the time. And it was a SIDS case. And I had to ask the father to ask his wife to leave the room because she was obviously beside herself after finding their 3-month-old pulseless non-breathing. And I could not hear him because she was so loud, which is completely understandable. And he asked me to stay on the phone with him. He did not want me to hang up with him. And I stayed on the phone and I cried. I cried on the phone with him until I don't remember if the police got there before the ambulance or if the ambulance got there first, but I stayed on the phone and cried with him. And just the fact that I was able to help him for those few minutes, even though it didn't change the outcome, I felt bad about the call, but I felt good about being able to help him in some capacity.
Hmm. There are, yeah, there are those moments when you take these calls, and a lot of times they're eye openers. Some of
Mhm.
them can be life changing,
Yeah.
and this obviously in some form or another was life changing because it was what you went through.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't the best result, it wasn't the
Right.
result that anyone wanted. There was still some good that
Mhm.
was there
Yeah.
ultimately, and it also pushed you to be where you're at now.
Mhm.
um so let's back up just a little.
Yeah.
So was this call like while you were in training, or
No,
was this just after,
no.
or like, okay,
That was probably it was in the first year.
yeah.
Yeah. It was after I was
Ah,
released. And this was also before peer support was a thing. So it was still kind of that suck it up buttercup attitude.
right.
And we had a version of peer support, but being with the fire department, it's all macho. It was macho at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And I was invited to participate in the debrief, but I didn't feel welcome.
Mhm.
Thankfully, the attitude has shifted now. But at the time, I didn't feel welcome. But thankfully, the person I was working with was amazing. And we were able to talk through it as a shift.
Wow. Okay, so let's back up just a little bit.
Mhm.
So did you get a chance, because again, this is 26 years ago, and not a
Yeah.
lot of centers did this, but did you get a chance to do a sit along or anything like that? I mean, are you
Mm-mm.
coming in green, or did you have anyone in your family that was in public safety at all?
So, no, I had a family that I used to babysit for
Mhm.
who actually, the dad was one of our firefighters at the time. That was the closest I had to a family as a first responder.
Oh man. So so you're just kind of hearing about it,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and you
I
you
was,
end up.
and I was getting the sugar coated versions from him.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
he was kind of making everything look all pretty and happy and like he would for his kids.
Yeah, like painting a picture. Like, You're the pretty little trees and
Exactly. Happy little
the soft,
trees.
yeah, the soft clouds and everything.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and then you get in there and you're like, "Whoa."
Holy
Like,
shit.
yes, holy shit, for sure. Yes, especially because, and I don't know if maybe you noticed this right off the bat, but you see things in the news, right? Especially locally.
Hmm.
And then when you get into dispatch and you see those local reports and you
Hmm.
think, yeah, no, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was way more crazy than that. And you
Well,
see,
that's
um,
true. But I've had the opposite happen too,
oh,
where I kind of got a little bit of a psychological or a psychology lesson from a caller unintentionally, where I got to see how the human brain works. It kind of tricks us when we're exposed to trauma. It tells us that we're seeing one thing. Caller told me that she saw her child and their significant other. Getting home, I watched the news and it was child and child's father. I confirmed later that it was, in fact, child and child's father. But her brain was just trying to help
right.
her process things. So that was a big gut
Oh,
punch.
wow.
I wasn't
Yeah.
prepared for that one.
There are some callers that we end up talking to, right, that you learn things from and you're like, okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am. Like,
yep. And then
I
the news
was
teaches us things.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you end up with that person or afterwards, after the call, thinking,
Hmm.
I think that call was meant for me because
Yeah,
maybe, you were trying to process a lot of stuff and everything already. And what are the odds, right? You end
exactly.
up talking to this person who tells you that,
Right.
and it helps you understand more.
Hmm.
And sometimes I've told people in the past, like, there's a lot of times in this profession, especially, that there are different voices out there
Hmm.
who are in one way or another trying to help you and maybe
Yes.
trying to help you understand or ease into a situation better. And a lot of times we don't listen.
No.
It's not until, maybe days or months later that it clicks and you're like,
Hmm.
"Oh,
That's what
wait."
that was about.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. What a profession. There's
Right.
so much that goes into it. So
Hmm.
just so that because you've been at the same agency this whole time?
I have.
Okay. That's another thing that not a lot of people, might end up going to a different place. So from that time to now,
Hmm.
but especially thinking about it back then, just so that those who are watching and listening can kind of get an idea. You walk in, what is it that you see? Are there multiple people working at the same time, multiple screens? What does it actually look like? And also, when you were walking in that first time, how did that
Wow.
feel? Was that overwhelming?
Yes. I think it would be more overwhelming now than it was then,
Oh,
just because of the technology,
oh,
more
for
screens
sure.
now.
Yeah.
We had, I think it was just two screens at the time. We had our old Zetron radios. We
Oh,
had we had the handset phone, and yeah, yeah, we were old school.
right. Probably had that piece so that you could hold it on your shoulder
We
better.
did. Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, the
Um,
shoulder brace.
so how many people are working at a time?
So we had three assigned to a shift with a minimum of two. And I was part of an expansion hiring
Mhm.
to bring us to that minimum of two.
Oh man. Okay. So the center, and you only did fire, or did you do police and
Fire and
medical too?
medical. Fire and
Fire and
medical.
medical. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
The last center that I was at, and even the center that I started out at, the one that I started out at was a small PD,
Mhm.
but we did PD and fire. We answered medicals.
Okay.
However, we were not EMD certified there. So what we would do is we would take the initial call, get all the
Mhm.
pertinent information, and then transfer them over to the county, or what we called county radio. It was just a
Okay.
county central dispatch.
Mhm.
And they were EMD certified. So they would do that over there. But
Okay.
I would send out fire rescue to
Okay.
go out there and everything. So it was always crazy and stuff because you got people calling in for a medical. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And, I'm transferring it over and everything, and I'm just shooting off the information. I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
hanging up, do your
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a little jarring at first.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially if you've never done it before, you're getting in there and there's
Yeah.
just so much information.
And it's the unknown. That I
Exactly.
think that's the biggest anxiety causing aspect is just not knowing. You hear that phone ring, it's like, oh shit, what are they gonna say?
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I'll ask you
Mhm.
here in just one moment, but I'll share mine with you. The very first 911 call I ever had was me it was my first day in dispatch. This was 2001. It's my first day in dispatch, again, small PD, Central Florida. And my trainer has showed me for 25 minutes the equipment and everything. And it's now my turn to take a call after I
Mhm.
observed him taking a call. And I'm sitting there just sweating because again, like you
Yeah.
said, it's that fear of the unknown.
Mhm.
And I take that first call, and luckily it was a butt dial. The lady the lady was apologizing to me, and in my mind I'm like, no ma'am, thank you,
Yeah.
because I was freaking out.
Oh yeah.
And I turn and I look over at my trainer Harry, and Harry goes, well, you've got the first one down. I was like, thanks guy. But for you, do you remember your first call or maybe some of those earlier calls doing,
I
just like
do.
medical fire?
My first 911 call. So we have a couple of big lakes in our area,
Mhm.
and I believe his exact words were "the shitter's on fire."
Oh, no way.
It was an outhouse. It was a wooden outhouse on fire.
Was it Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation? Shitter's full.
I love that movie.
Same, me too. Yeah, that's one of my
Oh my
all-time
gosh.
favorites. But so that okay, let me
Yeah. I had to ask him to
that
repeat himself because I thought surely he did not just say that.
right, yeah, and so that's what I was gonna say is a lot of times when we're taking these calls and you hear something like that, you immediately wanna laugh, right? But we're supposed to stay
Yes.
professional and everything, but dude, I would in the back of my head, I would be busting up laughing, and then
Yeah.
after the call,
Oh yeah.
as long as nothing crazy happened,
Right. Right.
I'd be laughing as well. But so
Yeah.
you take that first call, and the that's what the person says. Like, what are you thinking at that moment?
Are you shitting me? What's on fire?
Yes. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened with it? Like, how did it even start? Did someone just set it on fire on accident?
I
Was it
think it
like
was
the movie with the gases? And
honestly, it was probably kids.
probably, yeah.
So
Dang those
yeah.
kids.
I know, right?
But
Wasn't
it
the
kind of
fun.
it kind of makes for a funny moment, I guess,
It
in a
does.
way,
It's
because
mhm.
that's your first one.
I will
And
take that over the alternative.
right, yes.
My version
Yeah,
of a butt dial.
right, exactly. Yeah. That is hilarious. I mean, that right there kind of sets the tone for some of the other calls that you're going to get, because you could
Yeah,
be considered literally the ship magnet because
right.
because of that too.
Well, I wish I could say that was my only one.
Oh.
I've had two. Yeah, the second one was actually called in by our one of our local sheriff's departments, asked us to come
Mhm.
out because they had, of course, they ordered it a little differently, a little more professionally, but
Yeah.
the porta potty on fire. So
So it's just a thing in the area then, I guess.
apparently, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
After dark, kids love setting them on fire.
it's kind of like so where I worked when I was first dispatching, one of the things that was a thing is that people didn't really want to pay their car payments. Um so there would be a fire out in the orange groves. We'd get everybody out there, and they would, take it down, and it turns out it was a car that was set on fire. And a little while after, the owner would call and say, "Hey, I just walked outside and my car is gone. Someone stole my car." And I've already run the plate,
Hmm.
and yeah, so what? Can you give me the description of the
You
vehicle? Do you know your license? We go through the whole thing, and I would just tell them, "Okay, I'll have an officer call you because
know.
I think we found your vehicle." and they'd go, "Oh, great, that's great." Now, sometimes it was a legit thing, but
Uh-huh.
other times
Not
it
so
would be because people were trying to get like insurance money or just get a different car.
much.
And and I didn't know that right off the bat, but there were some that happened pretty close together.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the chief and one of the other officers telling me what was going on. And I
This is
thought, no way, dude. Like, okay.
and then you start to see the pattern.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I had cars and groves and you had shitters. You
I
had porta
do.
potties.
I do.
How long did the training last and all?
Whew. So my training lasted longer than the other people I was hired with because I had no fire EMS dispatch experience.
Mhm.
There were three of us that were hired together, and then one that was hired about 3 weeks later. They all had prior experience. So I still had to get my basic 40. They all already had that. I want to say mine was close to 6-ish months,
Oh, okay.
6 to 10 months. It's
Man,
been so long.
I was gonna say, I wish mine had been that long. I did, even though I started taking calls that very first night
Mhm.
that I worked. I mean, I found out that I got the job, and I started the same day
Oh my
working
God.
midnight shift. Yeah,
I can't imagine.
it was a whirlwind, but
Yeah.
it was. I mean, it ended up being good because I fell in love with it. I can't
Nice.
explain what it is that
Mhm.
911 just gets into the blood, and
Mhm. It does.
it's like I
There's
couldn't
nothing
see
like it.
myself doing anything else. Obviously,
Yeah.
eventually I left, but it was because I was still doing stuff for 911. So,
Right.
even though I wasn't taking the calls, I was helping the helpers.
You're not out of
So,
it.
right, yeah, exactly. Now, you did talk about a call just a little while ago,
Mhm.
but are there any calls? And if this is the same one, let me know
Yeah.
that you were going to talk about. But are there any calls that have just kind of stuck with you throughout this? Because there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of
Oh
calls, but
yeah.
sometimes there's a couple that just they're there for whatever reason,
Mhm.
and they just they come with us.
They
Um,
do. There are a lot. Oh, so the SIDS is probably one of the biggest one. I use that example a lot when
yeah,
I'm training somebody because a lot of trainees will ask, well, how do I handle it if I can't help the patient?
yeah,
Well, you can't always help them, and you have to ultimately be okay with that. We will help you through that, but that's just the way it is, and we'll guide you through it, but you can't beat yourself up over it. Um, there are still other people that you can help with that one call. Um, I think one of my favorite calls that I love to think back to
mhm,
was another funny one. This one I did lose it. I did laugh on the phone. I had to apologize, to which the caller told me, "Oh no, no, it's okay." So grandma's babysitting
mhm.
and her toddler grandchild, potty training, and if you remember potty training your daughter, I don't remember when they came up with these, but the toilet seat attachments for toddlers,
Yes.
now they look like hats.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yes.
I have taken multiple calls for those getting stuck around kids' necks because they thought, oh, it's a hat. So we'll pull it on so far it gets stuck around their neck.
Oh, no way.
So grandma's trying to pull it off and couldn't, obviously. So she calls and she's trying so hard not to laugh. Finally, just loses it. And I'm trying to remember how she worded it. I said, so it's stuck on there. She said, "Oh, honey, I've tried, and I just that thing is so damn stuck." She said, "I wasn't going to call, but I can't get it off. I can't rip the damn thing off, and his ears are going to bleed."
Oh,
Okay,
no.
and then she starts cracking up, and I'm just trying so hard not to laugh, and I'm fighting it because I'm picturing it the whole time. It's like every
Right.
other call. You have this mental picture going, and I could just picture this little kid, "Grandma, stop, stop, stop." And I actually started laughing. I contained myself. I apologized. I said, that was not professional of me. I apologize. I said, oh no, honey, no, this shit's funny. I cannot wait to show this little shit this when he's older. I said, honey, you laugh all you want. Like, okay, I feel better.
Oh man. See, and those are ones that I love as well, that stick with us too, because it's and I tell people this all the time, like it's not have a saying for Imagine Listening that is like, your worst day is our everyday, because that is true in some sense, but
Yes.
at the same time, that's why I also have the funny part of it that I call
Yes.
open mic, because there's also a lot of funny shit that happens in
There
911.
is. Yes.
And a lot of rewarding moments that happen in 911 as well. Like there's so
Yeah.
many different things. And I think, I've always thought that I would take hard call after hard call after hard call.
Mhm.
And it almost seemed as though the dispatch gods or dispatch universe, however you want to put it, would throw me a bone and be like, here, you need this one. And and it's a funny one. So for all you probably
Yes.
had some shit that you were going through that day, and then this call comes in,
Yes.
and then it's like, I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah.
don't always think about it right away, but the more I reflect on my career and stuff, and some of those hard calls, and then some of the funny calls, I think, you know what? I was going through some shit that day,
Mm-hmm.
and this
Yeah.
funny one came out of nowhere.
And it makes a huge difference.
I'll be honest, I should have known when you said it looks like a hat, because I remember that as well. I don't think any of my kids ever tried to put it on, but what did happen to a couple of them, and where I thought you were going with it, was that that somehow it got stuck around like their rear or something, and they were trying to get it off. And that's where I thought you were going with it. Not that it got stuck around their head, around their neck. I mean,
Nope, stuck around the neck.
those are some of the moments where, like you were saying, because we don't see it. I mean, now with technology, right now, in some places they're using video to
Yes.
911, and you can unblur it if you want, when you're going through
Right.
the process of the video. But otherwise, we are building this mental picture, this puzzle, if you will, these different pieces to whatever call you're taking.
Yeah.
And what I also love is when callers, they know that we're human too. And
Mhm.
like that person said to you,
Yes.
oh honey, this is funny, go ahead and laugh. Like you got the permission to go
Yes.
ahead and laugh.
That was amazing.
Yes. No, I love that. Now I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
We were talking about that call
Mhm.
that you mentioned early on, that was a SIDS call. But
Mhm.
what I want to ask about that, especially because it's something that you do now, and I don't know how long you have been in peer support, but for calls like that,
Mhm.
and not just that, these harder calls that we experience, the way that you can talk to other people now, especially as you were saying, there was someone that was asking you all types of questions,
Mhm.
and you were answering them. And I love the way you were answering them as well, because all we can do is guide a lot of
Mhm.
these folks, right?
Yeah.
And because we've had that experience, you're able to share your story to a
Mhm.
way that can say, look, I made it through it. It might have been hard to talk about in the beginning, but when I started talking about it, it made it that much better. So
It
that's
does.
why I want to share this with you.
Mhm.
How important do you feel that it is to have some sort of, whether it be a peer support team or just peer support in general, in this profession?
Extremely. I have been a huge proponent for peer support for many years. I've actually been involved for about 9 years now.
Mhm.
I started out on the Mid America Regional Council team, the roving 911 team with Pam.
Oh yeah,
And
love Mark, love Pam.
yep. Yeah, I love Pam. Pam's awesome. So she kind of helped me find my love for peer support. And I'm actually now the dispatch peer support coordinator for our fire department. And
That is awesome.
I attend every training I can. I'm absolutely fascinated with all of the opportunities we have. The fact that it's now given so much credibility, and the fact that it's acknowledged anymore, the fact that dispatch is also acknowledged as being, for lack of a better word, worthy of peer support, worthy of participating in debriefs. The fact that they're recognizing that no, dispatch is affected by this just as much as operations. We may not see it, but they're starting to realize that no, the pictures you guys create in your head is usually worse than what it actually looks like. And
Agreed. Yeah.
the fact that I have the ability, I'm given the opportunities to help other dispatchers, I absolutely love it. It it helps me because I continue to learn through those experiences between different trainings, and then just through debriefs, getting to listen to different peer supporters, listen to them give advice. It's a constant learning process.
I love that because and also, I mean, in this profession, we're always learning something. If you get to
Mhm.
a point where you feel that you learned everything,
I'm
might
good.
yeah, it might be time to go.
Yes. Yes,
It
definitely.
might be time to go, or find yourself.
Mhm.
Find what else is going on.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times, especially with the stuff that I do, I mean, I've had people scoff at it and say, I don't know what the point is. Like, I get what
Mhm.
you're trying to do, but I had
Oh,
someone tell me we knew what we were signing up for, and I thought, well, no, we don't always. Not everyone is told,
mm-mm.
this is the shit that you're going to be going
Mhm.
through, or you're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. People don't always know what they signed up for.
No.
A lot of times, it's when you either first start listening to those calls,
Mhm.
or when you're taking that first call, that it hits really hard, and you're like,
Mhm.
damn,
Yeah.
this is real.
Yeah.
There's so much more that goes into it than what you see on
Mhm.
TV, what you hear about in the
Yeah.
news. Like, there's way more
Mhm.
to it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm so glad too that there are so many more resources, that so many more people are
Yes.
talking about it, because it's also one of the reasons why I continue to do what I do, because it's still therapeutic for me to be
Yes.
able to
For
talk
sure.
through not just my stories, but talk with people
Mhm.
and help share their stories. Like, all of it is a
Right.
form of therapy, because I mean, we're sharing stories here and learning from each other, but
Yeah.
everyone else who ends up listening as well
Mhm.
are going to take something from it.
Right. And everybody needs to know and understand that it's okay to not be okay.
Hmm.
There are
Right.
resources, there are avenues, there is help.
Exactly. Yeah. It's okay not to be okay, but where
Mhm.
do you go from there? Once you
Mhm.
open that door, where do you go next? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of folks who say, what happens after that? Like, how do I continue doing
Mhm.
certain things? Well, get involved, or
Mhm.
into, whether it be different peer support groups or some of the national
Right.
or state organizations. There's a lot of different things, but also just simply, when you're ready, of course,
Mhm. Yes.
sharing your own story,
Mhm.
that can be some of the most powerful things out there that you can
Oh,
do,
for sure.
because you're human, and
Mhm.
people realize that you're human, and then they
Yes.
relate and we connect, and
Mhm.
that is how we get through all of this.
It is. And especially with a new person coming in, them getting that reminder that I know you've been doing this for 26 years. You must be solid as steel. But then when they hear one of my stories, they're like, oh shit, you are human. Okay. Well, if you were able to get past that call, even though you carry it with you, maybe I can do this.
Yes.
So,
And that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. That you allow someone else to feel
mhm.
comfortable, to not only open up, but also to see some hope, feel
Yes.
some hope, that there are other people out there, that I can get through this too. And I love that. Well done. I
Yes.
love that thinking. Um, As we go into the wrap up of this episode, it's been awesome to have you. I could talk to you forever, for real. Like, there's a lot of stuff I think that we could get into, actually. Um, but so I've got this last question for you, and I will say right off the bat, this question is not to change anything, because especially with 26 years that you have of experience, you have gone through a lot of things to get to where you're at today, the mindset that you have today,
Mhm.
because we all didn't have that mindset in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's through lessons, hard lessons,
Mhm.
all different types of
Yes.
experiences. But if you could go back 26 years to talk to yourself in the beginning of your
Mhm.
career, what would you tell yourself?
That's actually an easy one.
Oh, all right.
I would tell myself, specifically with regards to the SIDS call, participate. Even if you don't feel welcome, participate. While my partner was amazing, and there's not a bad thing I could say about her, my experience talking it out with her, she wasn't on the phone. So talking it out with her was a little different than it would have been talking it out with somebody else who was actually there.
Mhm.
Which is an experience I've got to have with other calls that I've run, or that I've taken, doing debriefs with units that were actually on the scene. I feel like talking to someone who was there can be more helpful. Talking to someone else who's in the room with you is no question better than nothing. But I think if I had gone in and talked with the crews, I think that might have helped. And
Excellent.
it might have helped me be a little less stubborn about coming to that point of realizing that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help.
Well, I love that. And that is awesome. I always save that question. I don't send that question out to people because
Yeah.
I want to see. Yeah. Some people, when I have said to some folks, so I've got this last question that I did not send to you, and then you can see the face like,
I know.
damn it, Ricardo. Like, what are you
Yes.
gonna hit me
What
with?
is it?
Yeah, what are you gonna hit me with? But I asked that question because, like, for me, with I would probably simply go back, and I would tell myself, just know everything is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit a lot of hard moments,
Hmm.
but just know everything is gonna be okay. Try not to worry so much.
Yeah.
And yeah,
In
there's
the end, you got this.
exactly. Damn, this was good. This was so much fun to have you on here.
Great talking to you.
We might have to do a part 2 or something. I have to get you on a round table or something. There's
Yeah.
so much more that we could talk about,
Yeah,
especially
for
with your
sure.
experience with peer support and everything. So, I will add you to that so that I
Okay.
can get you back on. And so for just everything that you do, thank you so very much for this profession, your experience, and your mindset on peer support, but also helping literally that next generation of 911 that is coming in, because that's why these conversations are so important. And people can learn so much from all of us throughout our stories and our experience. So again, thank you very much for being on.
Well, thank you.
So I will be right back here with you in just one moment. And for those who are watching and listening, if you have any comments, questions, you ever want to be a guest on the show, you can email us. The easiest way to do all of this is to simply go to links, and that's links with 2 i's.co/I am 911, and you'll find everything there. Email, social media, where to follow, where to hear the latest episodes of Within the Trenches podcast, as well as the Imagine Listening podcast. And also, there's a button right underneath there to schedule the episode. So whether you are new to dispatch, seasoned, or retired, I've been doing this for over a decade. It is my passion, and I would love to have you on the podcast to share your story, share your experience to literally the world. And so you can hit it up there. You can find that link. And then also, the free link to the Trenches community. A lot of stuff getting added on there, so make sure to check that out. And also within that main link that I mentioned here, that is also where you can find the Imagine Listening books, Volume 1, Volume 2. I am working on the audiobook version for Volume 2 of Imagine Listening. And then if you're looking for any podcast merch or dispatch merch, there's a link there as well. So again, that is links with 2eyes.co/IAM911, and you'll find everything there. Big shout out to my sponsor and partner, Rapid SOS, Safer Together, the leading AI company in public safety. And shout out to subscribers, everyone who's been watching, listening, supporting, sharing, all of it. Thank you so much for everything. I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you so very much. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as LinkedIn Live. And I think that's all of them. Also, you can find clips on Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, as well as TikTok. And then to listen 24/7 to the podcast, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone, and we will see you all in the next one. Imagine listening to someone's worst day every single day. Imagine listening as someone experiences life through their worst nightmare to the miracle of birth or a life saved. I'm Ricardo Martinez, a former 911 dispatcher, and for years, I've been recording the voices of a hidden world, ours. I've provided a space for 911 dispatchers to share their powerful stories. It started as a peer support session and continues. Dispatchers sitting together, sharing out loud, or writing down what they couldn't say. Some stories will grip you. Stories of heartbreak, resilience, and calls that haunt us long after the line goes quiet. But Imagine Listening is more than heavy emotion. It's about healing. It's about laughing through the chaos, lifting each other up, and reminding the world that dispatchers are human too. The lighthearted will balance the heavy. Experience the power of storytelling, a podcast for the thin gold line and those who want to understand it. This is Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday. Subscribe now wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.